is exposed. If it is below the line of the neighbor, their prayer will not be valid. So today, if you go to the masjid and you see these things happening, if you sit behind and you look at people who are praying, at times you will find some people they are praying, their back is exposed. Some people they are praying, the feet is not touching on the ground. Some people they are praying, the feet is just stagnant on the ground. All these things make prayer invalid. All these things makes prayer invalid. Now, the same goes for women as what I mentioned earlier. The same goes for ablution. The same goes for ablution. And in ablution also we have problems at times. If we do not wash our body parts properly up to the boundaries, our ablution will not be valid. Our ablution not valid, our prayers will not be valid. The same goes for istinja. Istinja also we have conditions. Our istinja is not valid, our prayers will also not be valid. So all these topics are important and compulsory upon every Muslim to learn them. So as what I mentioned, we don't have time to discuss everything. So we take what is important in this class. Now we go on to page 4. So now we have our break at 11:30. If you look at page 4, basically, again, I'm going back into the integrals. So earlier I mentioned roughly about the things which are compulsory in the integrals. But here it is more specific, pertaining to all the integrals. So if you look at page 3, the obligatory acts in prayer at the bottom. Number 1 is intention. Number 2 is takbiratul ihram. Number 3 is standing for able person. Number 4 recitation of Surah Al-Fatiha. Number 5 is ruku'. Number 6 tranquility in ruku'. Number 7 is i'tidal. Number 8 is pause in i'tidal. Number 9 is sujud 2 times. Number 10 is pause in sujud. Number 11 sitting between 2 sujud. Number 12 pause when sitting between 2 sujud. Number 13 last tashahud. Number 14 sitting in the last tashahud. Number 15 salawat upon the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the last tashahud. Number 16 is salam on the right. Number 17 is sequence. So altogether how many you have here? 17. Earlier I mentioned any 13. You know why it becomes 17? Because some of our scholars, they include the tuma'nina. Altogether we have 4 tuma'nina. Tuma'nina in ruku', tuma'nina in i'tidal, tuma'nina in sujud, and tuma'nina in sitting between 2 sujud. If you take out these 4 tuma'nina, it becomes 13. So actually they are the same. Actually they are the same. For those who consider tuma'nina in all these 4 places as independent integral, they say that the integrals in prayers altogether you have 17. Tayyib. Ala kulli hal, we mentioned all this already earlier. So now inshallah we go through again. So I have to look at the time. Maybe I will just go through any things which are important. So if you look here pertaining to the intention, there are 3 parts to intention. One of the most important integral in prayer is of course pertaining to the intention. Our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned in the hadith, "Innamal a'malu binniyat." And all actions must be based on intention. If you are performing any ibadah and there is no intention, your ibadah will not be valid. The same goes for fasting. If there is no intention, fasting will not be valid. The same goes for Hajj and Umrah. If there is no intention, Hajj and Umrah will not be valid. The same comes for Zakat. If you are giving Zakat, there must be intention. So intention is compulsory in all forms of ibadah. When we are performing intention in our prayers, there are 3 things which is compulsory in intention. We say these are the pillars of intention. Arkanun niyyah. Pillars of intention. Number 1 is the purpose. Number 1 is the purpose. Purpose here meaning talks about action. That we are performing our prayer. So in Arabic, and we say usalli, or we say I pray. Then we are going and need to do this action of prayers. Number 2 is specification. Meaning the type of prayer that you are praying. Whether you are praying Zohar prayer, or you are praying Asar prayer, or you are praying Maghrib prayer, or Duha prayers, or Istikhara prayers. And number 3 is the law. Whether it is a fard or sunnah. Whether it is an obligatory prayer or it is a sunnah prayer. So if you are praying the Zohar prayer, if you are praying in the Zohar prayer and you say, I pray fard Zohar, this is the compulsion and in intention. The action, specification, and the law. Usalli fard Zohar in Arabic. Or you say, I pray fard Zohar. So these 3 components and it must be present in our intention. If it is not present, then our intention will not be valid. Our intention not valid, our prayer will also be not valid. Fine. And then pertaining to the sunnah prayers, if you do not recite any of the fard, if you want to pray the duha prayer, you say, I pray duha. That is enough, without specifying the law. Because if you do not include the fard, it is understood that you are praying the sunnah. So there is a difference between performing the obligatory prayers and performing any of the sunnah prayers. Performing any of the obligatory prayers and what is compulsory is that we intend obligation, the fard. But pertaining to the sunnah prayers, we do not intend the obligation. Automatically it becomes sunnah. Some of you might recite, for example, usalli farda zuhri arba raka'atin lillahi ta'ala. Arba raka'atin lillahi ta'ala is not compulsory. If you make that intention, it is permissible. You will get any reward for it. But it is understood that Zuhur prayers and it is for raka'ah, and that Zuhur prayers and intent that the person intends and for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But what is compulsory is only the 3 components as what I mentioned. Usalli fard Zuhur, Usalli fard Asr, Usalli fard Maghrib. So if you make any of this intention, it is enough. Number 2 is takbiratul ihram. The thing about prayers is that whenever we make the intention, we make intention while we are reciting the takbir. We make the intention while we are reciting the takbir. And again, I emphasize that intention, it comes from the heart. In our madhab of Imam Shafi, it is sunnah to recite intention. But the reality of intention is what you intend in your heart. If you are saying something, but you are not intending inside, your prayer will also not be valid. If you say, Usalli Fardhu Zuhri, but you are intending to pray Asr, if that is really the time of Asr, then your intention is valid. So what you recite is of no effect. Because what is important is what you call it intended and inside the heart. So when we recite the takbir, we say Allahu Akbar, then at the same time when we make the intention. And the reason why the fuqaha mentioned this, because they say that the definition of niyyah, intention, is that it must be accompanied by action. Every intention must be accompanied by action. So that is why when you are making ablution, when do you make the intention? When do you make the intention when you are doing ablution? Can I ask? When you are doing the ablution, you make the intention when you are washing the face. Why do you need to make intention when you are washing the face and not washing the hands? Why the face? The reason is the first action that you do in ablution is the face. The first action. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, فَارْسِلُوا وُجُوهَكُمْ. The first action that you do in ablution is washing of the face. So washing of the face is the first integral based on your action. So that is why we say intention must be accompanied in the first action of ibadah. So since it is the first of the action and it is washing of the face, intention and it must be done upon washing of the face. But in prayers, what is the first action in prayer? What is the first action in prayer? Rukun fi'li. What is the first rukun fi'li? The first rukun fi'li is what? The first any rukun, not fi'li. The first action that you do. Takbir. The first takbir, the first thing that you do in your prayers, takbir. You are reciting the takbir. You are saying Allahu Akbar. This is the first thing that you do in your prayer. So that is why the definition of prayers is Aqwalun wa af'alun al-muftatahatu bit-takbir, words and actions that is started any with the takbir, wal mukhtatamatu bit-taslim, and ended any with the salam. So the first thing is takbir. So when we say takbir, that is the time any that we make our intention. So before any we do the takbir, it is sunnah to say our intention while we are doing the takbir. So we make the intention in our hearts that we are performing this obligation of Zuhur prayers. Right. The rest any you can read on your own. There are 20 conditions any pertaining to takbir. So you can slowly any in your house ponder any what is written here. If you have any question any at any time any you can call Mr. Khalid and ask what you call it on the issue any that you have. Number 4 is standing any for the able. If a person is able any to stand, as what I mentioned, it is compulsory upon him any to stand. If he is able to stand only for 5 minutes, there are people any who say that I can stand, but I can only stand for 5 minutes. After that I have to sit down. So what do you say to him? Can you straight away tell him that okay, khalas, and you can sit down any all the way? That is not possible. So what he has to do is he has to stand any for 5 minutes. If he is able any to stand any for 5 minutes, he stand any for 5 minutes. And then after that he stand by a chair behind him. After 5 minutes and he sits down. So there are people, for example, they can walk all the way into the masjid, but when they reach in the masjid, what happens? Straight away they look for a chair. And from the beginning of the takbir until the end, they pray while sitting down. So we are amazed at sometimes. And we ask the question, if a person is able then to walk from his house to come to the masjid, why can't he stand while he performs in his prayer? And which is more difficult, to walk or to stand? To walk is more difficult. And those who are able to walk, they are able to stand. So if they are able to stand, then they have to stand. They have to stand based on their capacity. If they say that I can only stand for 5 minutes, then they have to stand for 5 minutes. And when they are unable to stand, then only they can sit down. But if a person from the beginning of the prayer and he is sitting down and he has the ability to stand, is the prayer valid or not valid? The prayer is not valid because standing is an integral.